Today we've got section 8.6, solving rational equations. Part A, we're going to break this into two parts. I will tell you that actually we'll cover a majority of it today. Tomorrow will be lighter notes. Tomorrow we're going to work at depth on a couple word problems on your notes. So today it's going to be most of the drill stuff or the Algebra 2 stuff. Tomorrow it's going to be a little bit more of the depth. And then that's going to be it for this chapter, chapter 8, and then we're looking for a test sometime next week. All right. Today, solving, catch is, common denominator is key again. Common denominator is what we're looking for. Multiplying by special one is what we're doing. Really kind of building upon what we've been doing the whole chapter up to this point. So like I said, common denominator is key. Distributing through the equation, that's really going to be the secret of success. I think you're going to find most students usually find from where we begin, they tend to find it section 8.5 the hardest, and then 8.6 kind of eases it up again. So I think we're through the hard part. 8.5 is the hard part. You should be pretty confident on 8.5 problems now. If you're still iffy on 8.5 problems, then I'm going to tell you that 8.6 problems aren't going to get easier for you, because you need to be successful on 8.5 in order to be successful here over on 8.6 where we go to solving. So, again, we're solving rationals. The key all the way through today is going to be multiply both sides by the common denominator. Both sides by the common denominator. If you can multiply both sides by the common denominator, then you will be successful today on what it is I'm asking you to do. At the end, occasionally we might have to factor. We might get two solutions. If we do get two solutions, we always want to check them back in the original problem to make sure we don't have any extraneous solutions, any divide by zero errors, any domain restrictions. So I'll talk to you guys about that when we get there. Here we go. First example, 3 over x plus 2. 3 over x plus 2 equal to 6 over 3x plus 8. A lot of you guys can already know how to solve that. You guys remember fraction equal to a fraction is cross multiplying. I really want to look at this through the lens instead of how we're going to progress on everything for these examples. So, like I said, I'm going to show you the technique here. Cross multiplying only works when you have a fraction equal to a fraction. But the technique that I'm showing you right now is going to work on all the problems that we do. So the theme is do it every time. And that is multiply both sides. I already said that. We're going to multiply both sides by the common denominator. Must be important if I've written it down twice. All right, 3 over x plus 2 equal to 6 over 3x plus 8. At this point of the game, should be comfortable with me saying the common denominator is 3x plus 8 times x plus 2. Again, we're looking at the common denominator of all denominators that are across the equation. Multiply. This should be self-evident, but I'm going to say it anyway. We can do whatever we want to an equation as long as we do the same thing to both sides of the equation. On this problem, I've chosen to multiply the right-hand side by 3x plus 8 times x plus 2, which means I need to also multiply the left side by 3x plus 8 times x plus 2. So first step, multiply both sides by that common denominator. Next step, I'm running out of room in the right direction, so I'm going to write it kind of over here. Step number 2 is going to be distribute and simplify. When I distribute and simplify, this should look similar to yesterday. I have a 3x plus 8 times x plus 2 multiplying by 3 over x plus 2. Should make sense to you. I'm looking only at the left-hand side right now. When I distribute here, I get my x plus 2's to drop, and that will give me 3x plus 8 times 3. On the right-hand side, now looking only at the right-hand side, I'm done with my left, looking at the right-hand side, I have 6 over 3x plus 8. I'll be multiplying that by the 3x plus 8 times x plus 2. My 3x plus 8 will drop, and that will give me 6 times x plus 2. Well, we just went from something that looked kind of hard to now that something's kind of easy. In fact, we have a one-variable equation. So after we multiply both sides by the common denominator, that's step 1. I'll kind of step 1. Step 2, distribute and simplify. Step 3 is the easy part. Solve. So here, distribute that 3. That's going to get you to 9x plus 24. That's equal to 6x plus 12. We're going to minus 6x. We're going to minus 24. Minus 24. Minus 6x. That gives us 3x equal to negative 12. Divide both sides by 3. And x is going to equal negative 4. Last step. Check the solution. Okay, we have x equals negative 4. We just need to make sure that it works. Always plug it into, and I'm going to write it right here, original equation. Okay, so our original equation, 3x plus 2, 3 over x plus 2 equals 6 over 3x plus 8. 3 over x plus 2 equal to 6 over 3x plus 8. 6 over 3x plus 8. That's saying 3 over negative 4 plus 2. Is that equal to, this is our check, is that equal to 6 over 3 times negative 4 plus 8? So that's 3 over negative 2. We're checking to see if that equals 6 over negative 12 plus 8. 3 over negative 2 equal to 6 over negative 4. 6 over negative 4 reduces to negative 3 halves. So x equals negative 4. We have our answer. La-ti-da, we're done. And I think there's only 4 examples today. So that's example number 1. Multiply both sides by the common denominator. Distribute and simplify. Solve. Check your solution. Okay? Next problem. 8 over x plus 11 over 3 equals negative 14 over x. I will drop in this, today's word right now. Today's word of the day is going to be clone trooper. Somebody pointed out to me that yesterday when I said stormtrooper, actually what's in my classroom is a clone trooper. So today's secret word is clone trooper. All right, we're looking at 8 over x plus 11 thirds equal to negative 14 over x. And first step, multiply both sides by the common denominator. Hopefully at this point, you guys agree with me when I say the common denominator. We're looking at x, 3, and x. The common denominator is 3x. The common denominator is 3x. When we do that, we will distribute and simplify. That's our next step. I'm going to try to match my colors up. Oh, I failed on matching the colors up. So we're going to go ahead and distribute right now. Simplify when I distribute. My first term here, that is 3x times 8 over x. Hopefully you'll agree with me that those x's will drop, and that will leave me just 24. When I distribute to my next term, that'll be 3x times 11 over 3. This time my 3's will drop, and that will give me a positive 11x. On the right-hand side, as I distribute in, this time my x's will drop, and that will give me negative 14 times 3. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I believe that's negative 52. I'll double check that. 4 times 3 is 12. 3, it's negative 42. Sorry about that. Negative 42. Okay. So multiply both sides by the common denominator. It's 3x. Distribute and simplify. We've done that. Next step, solve. Solving for x, one step, minus 24 from both sides. That gives me 11x equals negative 66. Divide both sides by 11, and x equals negative 6. Done. Check your solution into the original problem. Make sure it fits. That will say 8 over negative 6 plus 11 over 3 equals negative 14 over negative 6. So negative 8 over negative 6. Let's kind of reduce all these problems. Let's see, negative 8, and if you got a factor of 4, that's going to give, I'm sorry, take out a factor of 2. That's going to give me 4 over negative 3 plus 11 over 3 equals, and I'll reduce negative 14 over negative 6. That is going to take out a factor of 2, and that gives me 7 halves. Negative 4 thirds plus 11 thirds is, I said 7 halves. It's actually 7 thirds. So for those of you guys who caught my error, again, I'm making a lot of mistakes right now. That's 7 thirds. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I have negative 4 thirds plus 11 thirds for 7 thirds equaling 7 thirds. Our answer checks out. And we have x equals negative 6. Again, multiply both sides by the common denominator. Distribute and simplify. Solve. Check your work. That's what we're doing for this. All right. You guys have a checkpoint coming up. I'll remind you to pause the video on the checkpoint. When you're ready to move forward, go ahead and unpause the video. All right, moving on to example number 3. Mr. Wood, this stuff's easy. I got this. Give me something harder. Well, I have good news and bad news. I'm going to give you something harder, but it's not that much more difficult. 6x squared over. What do you mean it's not that much more difficult? Looks a lot more difficult. It's not. 6x squared over x squared minus 16 minus 3 over x divided by x plus 4 equal to 4 over x minus 4. A lot of numbers there, Mr. Wood. Yeah, I know. What's the first thing I'm going to tell you to do before we multiply both sides by that common denominator? Probably factor first. Hopefully you recognize right now, because it's going to make this problem a lot better for you. X squared minus 16 is x plus 4 times x minus 4. It's the difference of squares. Oh me, oh my, I'm shocked to see that it's relatively easy for me to now multiply both sides of this equation by the common denominator. In fact, that will make this problem much easier. Why don't I do that? It's almost as if we've been setting you up for this, I don't know, for the whole chapter. So, yes, here we go. 6x squared over x plus 4 times x minus 4 minus 3 over x plus 4 equal to 4 over x minus 4. That was a lot to say. Now we're multiplying both sides by the common denominator. The common denominator is x plus 4 times x minus 4. The common denominator is x plus 4 times x minus 4. Distribute and simplify. When I distribute into my first term here, both my x plus 4 and x minus 4s will drop. Hooray! And that will give me 6x squared. When I distribute into my next term, that is a negative 3x. My x plus 4s will drop times x minus 4. I've now taken care of my left side, and I've busted, and that's what this technique's called. I used to call it in Algebra 1. We call it fraction busters. I've busted the left side of fractions. I've got rid of my fractions, and I've got a nice expression there. On the right-hand side, oh, that should have been my word of the day. Let's change it to the word of the day. Today's word of the day, instead of, what I forgot, clone trooper, we're making today's word of the day fraction busters. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and simplify the right-hand side. Right-hand side simplified, my x minus 4s will drop, and that will give me a 4 times x plus 4. So, multiply both sides of the expression by the common denominator, distribute and simplify. After we distribute and simplify, now it's time to solve. That becomes 6x squared minus 3x squared plus 12x equal 4x plus 16. Six x squared minus 3x squared is 3x squared plus 12x equal to 4x plus 16. Mr. Wood, see what you're doing here. Yeah, that's right. We have a quadratic equation. How do we solve a quadratic equation? I don't know. How about we get one side equal to 0? 3x squared plus 8x minus 16 equal to 0. You mean that thing that showed up like, I don't know, the third week of school, like factoring, you said it wasn't going to go away. In fact, I had to keep doing it and doing it until I got it right. It's going to keep showing up? Uh-huh. It's showing up again? Uh-huh. All right, we got negative 48 up top, positive 8 here, 3x over, 3x over. Two numbers multiply together to give me negative 48. Add together to give me positive 8. I like 12. And I like negative 4. Does that work? It does work. Good. So, reduce our fractions. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 12 4 times. I cannot reduce that left-hand side. So I've got x plus 4 times 3x minus 4 equal to 0. Now we've got zero product property. X equals negative 4. X equals positive 4/3. Those are our two possible solutions. As I told you, you need to check your work for these problems. It's possible you have an extraneous solution. So look at the original problem right now. If I plug negative 4 in, all the way up, and bring him up. If I plug negative 4 into this problem, right away you should see a red flag. If x equals negative 4, when I substitute in, what color can I use? Negative 4, when I substitute the negative 4 in to all of my values, right now I can tell you that negative 4 is not going to work. It's no solution, because when I substitute negative 4, and that's going to give me negative 4 plus 4 as a denominator. Negative 4 plus 4 as a denominator gives me a denominator of 0. As we've discussed in class, we cannot divide by 0. That's an illegal math operation. It doesn't exist. We can't do it. So since x cannot equal negative 4, in this problem, that's an extraneous solution. I'm not going to go back and check it right now, but I will tell you that when we do substitute 4/3 into this problem, we will get a solution. 4/3 will yield a solution upon the check. I'm not going to do it right now, but I did want to show you why negative 4 is extraneous. No solution there. We do have a solution in x equals 4/3. Again, when you check it out on your check, it will work, so you can verify 4/3. Okay? All right, it looks hard, but really, multiply both sides by that common denominator, distribute and simplify, solve for x, check your solutions. 4 steps. Checkpoint, you guys. Go ahead and pause the video. When you guys are done, unpause that video, and we're ready to move on. All right. Hopefully you got that checkpoint done. We're on our last example and then our last checkpoint. Away, here we go. 3x minus 5 over x plus 1 equal to 2 plus 8 over x squared minus x minus 12. Same technique. We're going to multiply both sides by the common denominator. Distribute, simplify, solve. Mr. Wood, not everything in this problem is a fraction. So what? Make everything in this problem a fraction. However, will we make everything a fraction? Perhaps making it 2 over 1. And indeed, you are correct. That's how we make anything a fraction. Put it over 1. So next up, you'll probably think to yourself, self. I don't know what the common denominator is right now. I got an x plus 3, I got a 1, and this x squared minus x minus 12. I know what I can do. I'll factor it. X minus 4, x plus 3. I factored that in my head. If you do not, if you can't factor it in your head, go ahead and make your diamond problem on the side of the board, on the side of your paper, but it will factor x minus 4, x plus 3. So at this point, I got an x plus 3, a 1, an x minus 4, and an x plus 3. I'm going to multiply everything by the common denominator, both sides of the equation by that common denominator. And this, in this case, the common denominator is going to be x minus 4 times x plus 3. Again, both sides times x minus 4 times x plus 3. Most sides of that common denominator. On the left-hand side, when I distribute in, my x plus 3's will drop, and that will leave me x minus 4 times 3x minus 5. Again, distributing in there, realize my x plus 3's will drop. It'll give me x minus 4 times 3x plus minus 5. On the right-hand side, nothing drops with the 2. Nothing's going to cancel or drop, so that's going to leave me 2 times x minus 4 times x plus 3. Nothing dropped there. Distributing into my second term, good news here, everything will drop. My x minus 4's will drop, and my x plus 3's will drop, so really all I'm going to have there is a positive 8. Again, nothing dropped when I distributed the 2, but everything dropped when I distributed to that 8, which is why I have written what I have written. So, multiply both sides by that common denominator. Distribute and simplify. Now solve. Solving here, we've got a multiply, double distribute, FOIL, whatever you would like to call it. That's going to be 3x squared minus 5x minus 12x plus 20. Over here, we're going to have 2x minus 8 times x plus 3 plus 8. Left-hand side, combining like terms, 3x squared minus 17x plus 20. The right-hand side, still have to do some double distribution here. That's going to give me 2x squared plus 6x minus 8x minus 24. And that's still plus 8. The left-hand side, we're pretty good. 3x squared minus 17x plus 20. Right-hand side, we've got to combine some like terms here. That is 2x squared minus 2x minus 16. Plus 6x minus 8x is negative 2x. Negative 24 plus 8 is negative 16. We've got a quadratic equation. We're going to get one side equal to 0. Right-hand side is equal to 0. The left-hand side, 3x squared minus x squared, x squared. Negative 17x plus 2x is negative 15x. 20 plus 16 is 36. X squared minus 15x plus 36. 36, negative 15, x over, Let's see, two numbers here. How about negative 12, negative 3? Yep, that's going to make that work. So we've got x minus 12, x minus 3 equal to 0. This is kind of mop-up duty now. X equals 12, x equals 3. We have two solutions in this case. We'll check them to make sure neither one of them gives me a 0 in my denominator. We have to look in the original problem. When I look in this original problem, I can see right now, if I substitute in 3, that says 3 plus 3, we're okay there. If I substitute 3 in here, 3 minus 4 is negative 1, 3 plus 3 is 6. So 3 is a solution. 3 will work. Now try 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. That works. 12 minus 4, 12 plus 3, 12 squared minus x. That's all going to work. In this problem, I'm never dividing by a 0, so both of these solutions will check out and work. In this problem, we have two solutions. There's two things that will make this equation work. Both 12 and 3. Okay? So there you go. That's long and the short of it, really. Multiply both sides by the common denominator. Distribute and simplify. Solve for x. Check for solutions. All right. Last checkpoint. There you go. I would say pause the video, but we are done for the day. So I'll bring these checkpoints to class tomorrow, and we'll be ready to roll on this stuff. Hope you have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.